we must teach.
Right, sir.
As a matter of fact, preaching is proclamation. Teaching is explanation.
Yes, yes.
And someone said, as a matter of fact, it was John Stott in a book called Basic Christianity, who said that though man's mind is significant in the empirical science, it cannot escape the child's interminable why. What I just said is that we need somebody ought to stop and ask, why?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Why do we do what we do?
Right.
The way we do it, when we do it.
Yeah.
Because when you know why, and you know the answer to the how, you shouldn't have any problems when you're asked to do the work.
Yes, yes.
We're called to teach, but Jesus' teaching ministry was not the same as the scribes and the Pharisees.
That's right. That's right.
Open your Bibles.
Yeah.
I'm coming to Deuteronomy, but I want to do it by way of Matthew. Matthew chapter 5 and verse 2 says that when he had opened his mouth, he taught them, saying. But then when I come to chapter 7, and I look at the concluding verses, particularly verse 28 and 29, it says, and it came to pass, when Jesus had ended these sayings, the people, here it is, were astonished at his doctrine or his teaching.
Right, right.
For he taught them as one having authority, and not as the scribes.
Yes, sir. Right.
Jesus' teaching ministry was not the same as the scribes.
Right, right.
As a matter of fact, scribes, their authority came from their matriculating, from the schools of academia. They're learning. But what made Jesus' teaching ministry different was that he did not sit under the feet of the modern day Gamaliel. He did not sit and learn it from the scholars of our day. But the last time I checked John 1, it says, in the beginning was the Word. And the Word was with God, and the Word was God. And so because he was the Word, when he started to teach about the Word, in other words, when the Logos started to talk about the Rhema, he could speak from a level of authority.
Yes, that's right.
Because he was not speaking merely from what he read and what he heard. But because of his relationship with God, with the one that he was talking about, the fact that he was with God and was God, he could talk about God. You see, I had the privilege of going to ITC in Atlanta, and it was there in that setting, Mason, that I learned that everybody that talk about Jesus don't know Jesus. Y'all ain't hearing what I'm saying. I was in the academy, I was in a setting where some people went to school not because they knew and loved Jesus, and not just because they wanted to know more about him to do the will of God, but I was actually in school with people who went to school to learn the word to be able to refute the teachings of Christ. And so, sisters and brothers, I've learned that what made Jesus' ministry and his teaching ministry different was the authority. Yeah, but that's where I need to be. I'm through when I stop by Deuteronomy chapter 8. Because I've learned that there are several ways of teaching. And his teaching ministry does not always take place in a classroom.
Right. Yeah.
As a matter of fact, I had thought when I graduated from American Baptist College to go on to Vanderbilt. But I decided against it because for me it was too heavy in theory. But it lacked some practicality. I needed a setting where I could take the teachings and apply it to my everyday experience. As a matter of fact, I want to suggest to you that you ought to read with the word in one hand, but you ought to read with the newspaper in another. Because the newspaper gives you the news, but the book gives you good news. And when I read the newspaper, there's a whole lot of bad news. But I need some good news because I need some hope to go on. Where I'm going with this message this evening, and I'm out of your way, is the fact that sometimes the Lord teaches us not in the classroom, but sometimes he uses wilderness experience. Mason is here, and when he doesn't handle house, we'll put some meat on it. But let me just stop by verse 3, because the text says, he humbled thee. You know, one of the things that he's teaching me is not to put everything on the devil. We are quick to blame the devil for everything. Oh, if I had time today, I'd stop by the book of Job, because I discovered in the book of Job, with all the trials he went through, he never blames Satan for anything. As a matter of fact, when he lost his sons and his daughters, he said, the Lord give it. And the Lord, come on, help me. And he said, blessed be the name of the Lord. You see, you ought to be careful about the credit you give the devil. You see, I want to argue that we give Satan too much attention. I ain't telling you to ignore him and act like he doesn't exist, and don't act like he doesn't have some power. But what I am suggesting, you ought to talk more about God than you do the devil. Yeah, because understand, when you talk more about him, you first acknowledge that no matter what the devil is up to, no matter how many plots he has, God's got a plan. And the plan that God has is greater than any plot that the devil can pose. And so the text says, he humbled thee. In other words, the children of Israel did not find themselves in this wilderness experience because the devil did it. You see, some stuff that you're going through is not necessarily because the devil has gotten in the mix and because you have done anything wrong. But there are times when God will give you a wilderness experience to humble you. In the words of Thomas Dexter Jakes, some of us can't stand to be blessed. You see, some of you, the only time you pray is when you're broke. Because when you got money and things are going well, when you got a job, you're too busy, amen, enjoying the blessings. But it's dangerous to fall in love with the blessings and forget the blessing. Can I tell you why? The blessings will run out. But when you stay with the blesser and the blessings run out, the blesser will give you some more blessings. I want you to understand, God sometimes has to humble us. As a matter of fact, y'all think I left Bible country, but at the time of the text, they have left, watch this, Egypt. And they are on their way to Canaan. Okay, let me talk to this side. In other words, they have left the place of bondage and they're on their way to the place of promise. promise. But somewhere between leaving the place of bondage and on their way to the place of promise, they had to go through a wilderness.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
My question is, why is it that God would not just allow them to exit Egypt and to enter Canaan?
Yeah.
I'm glad you asked, because he understood that if he brought them out and then ushered them immediately in, they would forget who brought them. And so he had to take them through so that they would learn who to look to. You see, they had to go through a wilderness experience. The text says he humbled thee. And how did he do it? The text says he suffered thee to hunger. In other words, he allowed them to hunger. Watch this. Touch your neighbor and say, neighbor, God did it. Yeah, I know that's difficult. I know it's difficult. And the reason why it's so easy and comfortable for us to put everything on the devil is because if the devil did it, we can tell God about it. But when God does it, who do you tell God? Who do you tell on God to? You see, when the devil get on you, God can get him off. But when God get on you, you got a problem. And so it's easy for us to give Satan credit. But I want to argue something God is behind.
Yes, sir. That's right. That's right.
Can I help you? We talk about the sovereignty of God.
Yeah.
And the sovereignty of God, whatever else it means if he didn't do it, he allowed it.
Yeah. That's right.
And whatever else that means, it means that he had the power to stop it.
Yes.
And since he didn't stop it, it means that it had a purpose for allowing it.
Yes.
And what somebody needs to know this evening is that if he brought you through it, if he brought you to it, he can see you through it. It means he had a reason for allowing you to have that experience. And if he has a reason for it, there's a season. And understand, when the reason for God allowing it is over, your season for going through will be over. So stay with it, because here's what we don't understand. Sometimes we want God to hurry up and bring us out of some stuff. But can I tell you why he won't hurry up and bring you out of everything you're in? Because he understands if he brings you out too fast, it's easy for you to get back in it. But if God lets you linger and labor in it a little while, the next time you're tempted to return to the thing he delivered you from, you'll play that tape out. And you'll tell the devil, I've been there, done that, spent tonight, and don't ever want to go back there again. God will let you stay in some stuff to teach you something. Listen to what the text says. It says, and he humbled thee, and he allowed you to hunger. And then watch this. And the text says, he fed them. Y'all missed it. The text says, he's the one that allowed them to be hungry. And then turned around and fed. In other words, he's the one who was the author of why they were hungry. And he says, if I'm the one who allowed you to be hungry, I'm the one that has the authority to feed you when I get ready. And when I came to tell y'all the stuff you worrying about while you trying to figure it out, he's already got it. Quit sweating it. Quit worrying. Trust him even when you can't trace him. Understand, before you try to hurry and get out of what you're in, ask God, what is it that you're trying to teach you? You see, sisters and brothers, I'm convinced that nothing just happens. Everything happens for a reason. Everything happens for a reason. And when you stay in that thing long enough and you see God as to why God permitted it, and you learn the lesson, the chances of your repeating it again will be slim. As a matter of fact, the Jews believed that everything happened for a reason. To the point that if you got ready to sit in a chair and you missed the chair and fell on the floor, the Jew would turn and say, chair, why did you move? Because they believed that your fall had a purpose. And sisters and brothers, lest I keep you too long, the text says he fed them. But that ain't all the text says. The text says he fed them with manna. In other words, they didn't even know what to call it. All they know is he fed them with something. Is it anybody here who ever had to live on the fact that you know that God will make a way somehow? You don't know how he's going to do it, but you know he's going to do it somehow. And I want to tell you, Pastor Mason, I've been in this thing long enough. I've lived just long enough. I've had enough trials in my life that now when things happen, I don't wonder whether he's going to bring me out. But what I wonder is how he's going to do it this time. As a matter of fact, are y'all familiar with the show called The Fugitive? Yeah, some of you too young to remember Harrison Ford. But Harrison Ford in The Fugitive, he would get in trouble every week. But every week he would get out of trouble. And when I wondered if everybody knew he was going to get out of trouble, why is it you kept tuning in every week to watch The Fugitive? And then it hit me why you kept tuning in even though you knew what the end was going to be. The reason why you kept tuning in